Emma leaned closer to her drafting table, adjusting the spacing on the names Daniel and Lily for the third time. The late afternoon sun filtered through the window, catching the soft copper details she had added to the invitation design. It was clean, elegant, nearly perfect. She sat back and smiled faintly. "He'll love this," she murmured. "Before I continue, take a moment to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from today. Your support, just one click, helps this channel grow and means more than you know." Daniel was her younger brother, and she had poured hours into making sure everything was right. Her phone buzzed against the wooden table, vibrating dangerously close to her coffee mug. She glanced at the screen and smiled wider when she saw Daniel's name. "Hey," she whispered, already reaching for it. The message loaded slowly, and when it did, her smile faded. "Parties this weekend. Guest list is super small. Hope you understand." Emma stared at the words. She reread them. Once. Twice. Her fingers froze mid-air. "What party?" she whispered to the empty room. The pen slipped from her hand, dragging a dark line across the invitation. She didn't notice right away. Her phone buzzed again, but this time she didn't pick it up. She just sat there, the sound of her own breathing loud in the quiet apartment. Emma stood up so quickly her chair scraped loudly against the floor. "That doesn't make sense," she said out loud. She grabbed her phone and called Daniel, but it went straight to voicemail. Her coffee mug tipped as her elbow brushed it, spilling dark liquid across her sketches. She didn't react. Her eyes had landed on a framed photo on her desk. Daniel, smiling in his army uniform, holding 3 care packages she had sent during his deployment. She remembered packing them late at night, sealing boxes with tired hands, baking cookies even when she had deadlines the next morning. "You saved me," Daniel had told her once on the phone. Her hands trembled as she scrolled through old messages. Then she dialed her father. "Emma," his voice came through, distracted. "Dad," she said carefully, "Daniel texted me about a party this weekend. For his engagement." Silence followed. Then a sigh. "It's just a small get-together," he said. "Nothing official." Emma frowned. "But I design the invitations," she replied. "I've been working on them all week." Her father's tone hardened slightly. "Don't turn this into a problem. You know how your brother is." Emma swallowed. "So I'm not invited." Another pause. "It's better this way," he said. "Please don't make this a thing." Emma ended the call before her voice could break. She stood in the middle of her apartment, phone still pressed to her ear, staring at the ruined sketches on her table. "Don't make this a thing," she repeated softly. The words felt heavy. She thought about 6 months earlier, when Daniel had called her at 3 in the morning from overseas. "My card's been hacked," he'd said, panicked. "I don't know what to do." She hadn't hesitated. She'd transferred $2,000 from her savings within minutes. He still hadn't paid it back. She thought about the nights she stayed up redesigning announcements because Lily wasn't feeling the professional ones they had paid for. About missing her friend Sarah's birthday dinner to meet Daniel's deadline. Emma sat down slowly. Her phone buzzed again. This time it was her cousin Mia. "Just got the invite for Daniel and Lily's lake party. Are you coming?" Emma's stomach tightened. "Invite," she whispered. She typed back quickly. "What invite?" The dots appeared, disappeared, then appeared again. "Oh, awkward. I thought you knew." A few seconds later, an email came through. Emma opened it and stared at the bright design. "Join us for a lakeside engagement celebration." She scrolled. Over 100 names. Friends. Co-workers. Distant relatives. Everyone, except her. Emma called her father again. "There are over 100 people invited," she said quietly. "You said it was small." He sighed heavily. "Your brother has his reasons." "What reasons?" she asked. "Maybe he thought you'd feel uncomfortable," her father replied. "You tend to be serious." Emma laughed softly, though there was no humor in it. "Serious," she repeated. "For caring." Her father didn't answer. "Just respect his decision," he finally said. When the call ended, Emma opened her laptop and stared at her bank account. Years of saving. Years of putting herself last. Her cursor hovered over a travel website she had bookmarked long ago. A ski resort she'd always dreamed of visiting but never allowed herself to book. Someday, she had always said. Emma took a deep breath and clicked book now. First class flight. Mountain view suite. 6 days. When the confirmation email arrived, she felt something shift in her chest. She took a photo of her passport beside the booking confirmation and posted it online. When you're not invited, you make your own plans. The plane cabin was quiet and bright, wrapped in soft leather and muted colors. Emma sipped champagne as the flight attendant smiled. Another? The woman asked. Emma paused only a second. Yes, she said. She looked out the window as clouds drifted below, her reflection faint in the glass. Guilt flickered, but it didn't stay long. At the resort, her room took her breath away. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Snow-covered mountains glowing in the sunset. She stood alone in the silence, placing her bag down carefully. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. Missed calls. Messages. She turned it face down. Not tonight, she said. Later, standing in front of the mirror, she barely recognized herself. She looked uncertain, but stronger. Who are you becoming? She whispered. Outside, the mountains stood still and unbothered. For the first time in years, Emma felt the same way. Emma woke early the next morning to soft light spilling across the white curtains. For a moment, she didn't know where she was. Then she remembered. The flight, the mountains, the choice she had made. Her phone lay silent on the nightstand. She picked it up and frowned. 12 missed calls. Most from her father. 3 from Daniel. 1 from Lily. She didn't open any of them. Instead, she showered, dressed slowly, and went downstairs for breakfast. The lodge cafe smelled like coffee and warm bread. She ordered eggs and tea and took a seat by the window. A woman at the next table smiled. First time here? She asked. Emma nodded. Yes. First time traveling alone. The woman chuckled. That's usually how it starts. Emma smiled back, surprised at how easy the exchange felt. No explanations. No expectations. Just a simple conversation between two strangers who owed each other nothing. Later that morning, Emma signed up for a beginner ski lesson. You'll be fine, the instructor said as he adjusted her boots. His name was Alex, and he spoke calmly, like someone used to nervous beginners. Just listen and don't rush. Emma laughed. That sounds easier than it is. He grinned. Everything does. On the slope, she fell twice within the first 5 minutes. Each time, Alex helped her up without comment. Again, he said, pointing downhill. By the third try, she stayed upright. A small victory, but it made her laugh out loud. She didn't remember the last time she had laughed without checking her phone afterward. When the lesson ended, Alex nodded approvingly. Not bad for day one. Emma looked down at the snow clinging to her gloves. I didn't quit, she said, more to herself than to him. That afternoon, Emma sat by the lodge fireplace with a mug of hot cider. Around her, people talked and laughed in low, comfortable voices. A man across from her leaned over. You skiing tomorrow? He asked. I think so, Emma replied. I survived today. He laughed. That's the goal. Her phone vibrated in her pocket. She ignored it. Minutes passed. Then more. When she finally checked, there were new messages. Her cousin Mia. Things are weird back home. Another message followed. People are asking where you are. Emma locked the screen. The fire crackled. Someone nearby told a story about missing a flight and ending up somewhere better by accident. Emma listened without interrupting. For once, she wasn't the one fixing the ending. That evening, Emma stepped onto the balcony outside her room. The air was sharp and cold, the sky clear and full of stars. Her phone rang. She checked the screen. It was her grandmother, Rose. Emma answered. Hi, Grandma. Rose didn't waste time. Your father is pacing holes in the carpet, she said. Emma smiled faintly. That sounds like him. Rose snorted. Your brother too. Nobody knows what to do without you. Emma leaned against the railing. I didn't disappear, she said. They know where I am. Rose hummed thoughtfully. Good. Then let them sit with it. Emma exhaled slowly. Are you okay? Rose asked. I am, Emma said. And she realized it was true. The next day passed quietly. Emma skied again, steadier this time. She ate lunch with people whose last names she didn't know. No one asked her to solve anything. That night, back in her room, she finally listened to one voicemail from Daniel. His voice sounded strained. Call me. Things blew up. Lily's furious. Dad's blaming everyone. I don't know what to do. Emma stared at the phone for a long moment.
Then she set it down.
She opened the curtains and looked out at the mountains, dark against the sky. Somewhere far away, a party had unraveled without her. Here, everything was quiet. She turned off the light and went to bed, not waiting for the phone to ring. On the third day, Emma joined a small group heading out for a guided snowshoe hike. The guide, a tall man named Mark, handed out equipment and gave brief instructions.
Stay close.
If you fall, laugh first, then get up, he said.
A woman beside Emma chuckled.
I like that rule. Emma smiled. As they moved into the quiet forest, the sound of the lodge faded behind them. Snow crunched underfoot, steady and rhythmic. Mark paused at a clearing and motioned for them to stop.
Take a look, he said.
Below them, the valley lights glimmered faintly. Someone whispered, "Wow." Emma didn't speak. She simply stood there, breathing in the cold air, feeling oddly present in her own body. Halfway through the hike, Emma's phone vibrated inside her jacket.
She ignored it until they reached a rest point.
When she checked, there were several messages from Mia.
You won't believe what happened at the party. Another followed quickly. Daniel messed up badly.
Emma typed back, I'm on a hike.
Talk later.
Mia responded with a single word, chaos. Emma slid the phone away and rejoined the group.
The woman who had laughed earlier leaned toward her. Family drama, she asked lightly. Emma nodded. Something like that. The woman shrugged.
Mountains don't care, she said, adjusting her scarf. Emma smiled. That seemed accurate enough. That night, Emma returned to her room tired but clear-headed. She turned her phone back on and watched the notifications stack up. Missed calls.
Messages.
Long voicemails she didn't play. One text from her father read, "We needed you here." Another from Lily said, "Can you please talk to Daniel?" Emma sat on the edge of the bed and read them once.
She didn't respond.
Instead, she opened the window slightly and let cold air spill into the room. Somewhere below, laughter drifted up from the lodge bar. Emma changed into pajamas and lay back, staring at the ceiling. For the first time, she didn't feel pulled in two directions. The next morning, Emma skied a longer run. She hesitated at the top, looking down the slope. Alex's voice echoed from behind her. You've got this. She pushed off. Her turns weren't perfect, but she stayed upright. At the bottom, she laughed, breathless. I didn't fall, she said. Alex grinned. Told you. Her phone buzzed again. She glanced at it this time. A message from Mia, engagement's off. Lily left. Daniel punched a wall. Dad lost it. Emma exhaled slowly. Old instincts stirred, calls to make, apologies to smooth over. She tucked the phone back into her pocket and followed Alex toward the lift. That evening, Emma joined a few people she'd met at the lodge for dinner. Conversation flowed easily. A retired teacher talked about moving cities. Someone else described quitting a job they'd hated for years. No one asked Emma to explain herself. When she returned to her room, she played one voicemail, from her grandmother. Rose's voice was calm. Your brother made a mess, she said. Your father's upset. But that's not your problem tonight. Emma sat down on the bed, listening. Enjoy where you are, Rose added. I'll handle things here. Emma smiled, set the phone aside, and let the quiet settle in. By the fifth day, Emma had settled into a routine. Morning coffee by the window. A few hours on the slopes. Quiet afternoons reading by the fire. Her phone stayed mostly silent now. When it buzzed, she checked the screen without urgency. One message from Daniel stood out. Please just talk to me. Emma stared at it while standing in line for lunch, skis propped beside her. A man ahead of her turned and smiled. Long wait, he said. Worth it, she replied. She put her phone away without answering. The soup was hot, the bread fresh, and no one at the table expected anything from her beyond being present. That afternoon, Emma received a call from the front desk. You have a delivery, the clerk said. Curious, she went downstairs. A cream-colored envelope waited at the counter, her name written carefully on the front. She recognized Daniel's handwriting immediately. Back in her room, she opened it. Inside was a short letter. I know I messed up. I don't know how to fix this. I'm sorry. Emma read it twice, then folded it and placed it in the drawer. She didn't cry. She didn't smile either. She simply sat for a moment, listening to the wind outside the window. The next day, Emma extended her stay by a few more nights. Of course, the receptionist said. Same room? Yes, Emma answered. That evening, she joined a moonlight snowshoe walk advertised on the lobby board. The guide led them through tall trees, the snow glowing under the moon.
A woman walking beside Emma spoke quietly.
"I came here to get away from a mess," she said.
Emma nodded.
"Me too."
They walked the rest of the trail in silence.
At the clearing, the guide stopped and let everyone look out over the valley. Lights flickered below like distant stars. Emma felt steady, anchored to the ground beneath her boots. When Emma turned her phone back on later that night, the messages came quickly. Her father, "You abandoned us when things got hard." Her mother, "Please call. We're worried." Lily, "I didn't mean for things to go this far." Emma read them all without reacting. Then she opened her contacts and blocked Daniel's number. After a pause, she blocked her father's as well. Her hand hesitated over her mother's name, then moved on. She placed the phone face down and called the front desk. "I'd like to stay another 4 days," she said.
"Not a problem," the clerk replied.
The following morning, Emma skied a blue run for the first time. She stopped halfway down, heart racing, then continued. At the bottom, Alex raised his paws. "Nice control," he said.
Emma laughed. Her phone vibrated in her pocket. She ignored it.
Later, sitting by the fire with a cup of tea, she watched snow fall softly outside the windows. The lodge hummed with low conversation. Somewhere far away, her family was still dealing with the fallout. Here, nothing demanded her attention. Emma leaned back in her chair and stayed where she was. On the 9th morning, Emma packed her suitcase slowly. Not because she was sad to leave, but because she didn't feel rushed. She folded her clothes neatly and placed the cream sweater she'd bought at the lodge on top. Her phone buzzed once on the bed.
This time it was her grandmother.
Emma answered. "You heading back today?" Rose asked. "Yes," Emma said. "But not home." Rose chuckled.
"Good.
Your father asked what time to pick you up from the airport." Emma smiled. "I rented a car." There was a pause, then a satisfied hum.
"I like that answer," Rose said.
They hung up, and Emma zipped her bag shut. Outside, the mountains stood quiet, unchanged, as if nothing dramatic had ever happened at all. Emma stopped at a small cafe on her drive down the mountain. She sat by the window with a notebook and coffee, watching people come and go.
Her phone chimed softly.
A message from Daniel appeared.
"I'm paying you back. I didn't realize how much I leaned on you."
Emma read it once.
She didn't reply right away.
A few minutes later, another message arrived from her mother.
"Would like to see you when you're ready."
Emma closed her notebook and finished her coffee. When she stood to leave, she typed a short response.
"I'll reach out when I can."
She sent it, then slipped the phone into her bag. 2 months later, Emma stood in her new apartment, sunlight warming the hardwood floor. Boxes lined one wall, half unpacked. A framed photo leaned against the counter, waiting for a place.
Her phone rang. This time she answered.
"Hey," Daniel said. His voice sounded calmer. "I got the transfer confirmation. It went through." Emma nodded, though he couldn't see it.
"Okay," she said. There was an awkward pause.
"I'm glad you're doing well," he added. "I hear Colorado suits you." Emma smiled slightly. "It does." They said goodbye without tension, without promises. A simple envelope arrived a week later. Inside was an invitation. Daniel and Lily. A small ceremony. 30 guests. Emma's name written clearly on the front. She placed it on the table and didn't open it right away. That evening, she met friends for dinner, laughed easily, and walked home alone under streetlights. Back in her apartment, she picked up the envelope and opened it. She set it beside her calendar, neither accepting nor declining yet. She turned off the light and went to bed. The next morning, Emma adjusted the blinds and let the mountain light fill the room. She brewed coffee, sat at her table, and opened a blank page in her notebook. Outside, the day moved forward without waiting for her. She took a sip, then began to write, unhurried. Whatever came next would happen on her terms. Thank you for watching. If this story is a reminder that choosing yourself doesn't mean abandoning others, it means honoring your own worth. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video to support more stories like this.